Now, the SPY closed at 434. So let's talk about what's moving the markets, because we've had a lot of news with Russia invading Ukraine, or did they? So I'm going to tell you what's going on. I'm going to talk about the 10-year, the dollar, and what's going on in the market, and what I expect today that we can make money. Because over the weekend, I was pretty sure war was going to happen. But as of this morning, 54 minutes ago, so basically 5 a.m., Ukraine president said, we believe there will be no war against Ukraine and there will be no wide escalation. Qatar's Kabibi says there's no single country that can replace Russia's gas supply to Europe, which is what I told you. I told you Russia supplies over 50% of Germany's energy. That's Germany alone. So it would be extremely difficult if there was a war between Russia and NATO or Russia and the allies, because Russia would not sell Germany oil, natural gas, energy, things of that nature. Russia's lower house of parliament votes to approve friendship treaty with self-proclaimed Donetsk and the People's Republic in eastern Ukraine. So what I said over the weekend is what would happen likely is Russia would attack on the eastern front, claim two provinces that have already been occupied by Russian militia, okay? So now they're becoming separatist states. Russia's acknowledging their independence. So basically what's going on is pieces of Ukraine are being broken away and claiming independence, which is lessening Ukraine and giving Russia their little boundary that they're asking for, because they're in fear of their neighbors attacking them. Yes, Russia claims they're in fear. Now, understand, I've said this before, Vladimir Putin is like playing chess versus everybody else playing checkers. So he's 23 moves ahead. So whatever his long-term goal is, it's already progressing in the nature that he wanted. Maybe he didn't want world. Maybe he just wanted to scare the shit out of the world markets. But he's done that. Now, what happened to the Russian market over the weekend or yesterday when we had our holiday? Down 10.5%. The German market off 3.5%. But we'll go to futures for these markets because things have changed significantly. So we'll go to the DAX futures. Now they're flat. DAX futures were up 1%. FTSE, which is the London market, futures are up 0.25% right now. Nikkei got crushed, down 1.7%. So, I mean, here we are. DAX was down 2% yesterday, not 3.5%. It was down 3.5% at the start. So we have our futures, which are flat. Now, understand, our futures, the Dow futures, were off like 600 points at some point during the evening. Tech futures were off close to 1.9% or over 260 points. Now, they are currently only down like 20 points. So what is going on? What are we going to do today? Boom. This is the SPY chart. Why do I bring up the SPY chart? Because you're going to see extreme volatility. So you see it closed at 434. We're sitting at 433 now. So actually, the futures have actually moved down because they were green as I attempted to shoot this about 12 or 13 minutes ago. So let's talk about the SPY, what could potentially happen. We'll look at the 5-day chart. We'll look at the volume. So what I expect to happen is a crazy volatile morning. So the market's going to open. The SPY is likely going to drop, shoot up, drop again. So there's time to get in if you understand or have a specific position that you're looking to get into. If you think the market's going to recover, there's a good chance you can get the SPY this morning, probably at 432. And if they do recover, let's say the markets are strong because everybody believes what Vladimir Putin is saying and that there will be peace in Ukraine and there will not be a further attack and everything will stabilize. So you can probably get in at 432, which would be like 0.5% lower. However, if you do that, you need to have a plan. So if your plan is, my plan on the high side would be 439 for the SPY. However, I'm not sure about market direction. Usually I come on, I'm like, this is exactly what's going to happen. Now let me pull up my other chart, the volatility index, which is the UVXY. Boom, there it is. So it's at $17. It's actually under $17. So this went red, and the UVXY this morning was as high as $17.80. So it was up 5% pre-market. It is now off 0.74%. So you can see the volatility pre-market. Now understand the amount of trading that happens pre-market is less than 1%. Now on the low side, we've seen it test the low of 1634 or 1630 probably twice on Friday alone, okay? And 3 times on Friday. There we go, because we started Friday morning. So what do you think is going to happen today? Well, If the markets are strong, I think it could test 1630 again on the downside, which would be like what? 4% on the downside. Now, if it hits that point, I'll be buying UVXY calls. So again, you have to be ready on both sides of the equation. You're following the market direction. Remember, the market likes to fake you out. So I will be following market direction from about 9:40 to about 10:15 a.m. At that point, I will make a decision. Now, what will likely happen is if the markets are going down at 10:15, they'll likely pop a little and then go down more. If the markets are strong, you will see the markets drop at open, strengthen around 10:15 a.m. They'll look like they're going to drop again, and then they'll strengthen. So I'm telling you, you have to pay attention. Whatever happens around 10:15 will be a fake out in the opposite direction. The markets will strengthen what they were doing earlier in the morning, or the markets will sell off and continue to sell off. So I need you to keep both options opened in your mind, and you need to process the information. So two more things real quickly. The US dollar just dropped back to 95.93. Now let's remember, when I shot my video on Friday, it was 95.85. So it really hasn't moved. It shot up over the weekend and shot back down. The same thing happened to gold. It shot up over the weekend and shot back down. Then you have the 10-year, which over the weekend dropped back to 1.85. Now, this is the same 10-year note that was past 2% last week. It dropped a whole 15 basis points. Now this morning, after the markets have calmed, it's back at 1.928. So that kind of makes more sense. It'll probably, if the market shows strength, it'll probably shoot up. Now remember, if the markets strengthen themselves, you still have the Fed who's talking about raising rates. If there's a strong market, that's what's going to happen. So I already think March they're going to raise 50 basis points, which makes it more expensive for our markets. Stock I'm going to leave you with, Dollar Tree. Why? Because Dollar Tree owns that other dollar store that had problems with rat infestation. I believe it was Alabama or Mississippi, something like that. They had a warehouse. 400 stores are basically closed down. What's happening pre-market? DLTR is only off 1.99%. I'm hoping that hangs out there because I could see a drop of, and there has been demand, and they're still buying it in the morning, but I could definitely see a drop here, and that's what I'm going to be looking today. All right, so have a great day trading. Check out the other videos. Talk to you guys later.